It's CTilde, and I'm not gonna lie, I am a glass and a half deep in white Zinfandel, and it's delicious. And this is going to be my second attempt at recording this video because iPhone doesn't want to record it for some reason. So let me check. See that red line up there? It means I'm recording. We shall see. Anyway, the goal of today's video is to show what I'm doing, how I'm blending. So that's what I get asked a lot. Well, I'm actually doing it in those videos. It's not really clear, I think, as to how the blending is being achieved, that smooth transition blending. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm in my solid colors, which again, all these solid colors are the exact same tones as what the crowns are. So this is my mid-tone here. I know that in the iPads and tablets, it shows these colors in one solid row. And I don't know how that row looks, but, oops. I don't really know how to explain what color this is. I'm not sure what order they put them in. So I do apologize if that's not very helpful. But, you know, this is lightest, 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 next lightest, I guess. That didn't help. And in true CTilde fashion, we're going to black out the background because A, it makes it easier for us to see the colors that we're using without being blinded by all this white. Dear Recolor, make everything gray and not white in the background. Just this area up here, you know, where our bars are and stuff, would not be so glaring. But yeah, and I'm that lazy. I don't like doing backgrounds. There's some people who make the coolest backgrounds. Every now and then I get a wild hair up my butt and I'm like, I'm gonna make some clouds. I'm gonna make them cosmic clouds. And I'm gonna spend all that time adding dots and dots and dots of stars, but Anyway, let's go to our crowns. And we're gonna go to skin tones. And I'm gonna use what I assume is the second to darkest skin tone here. I'm gonna zoom way out. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw another line of skin tone just around the frame of her face here. You know, I don't like that. Maybe a little bit less. Something like that, you know? I think what a lot of people do is they assume that might not be enough, maybe, and your style is your style. I'm just showing you how I do it. And they probably want to, you know, go darker than that, and then it's hard to blend if it's so dark. So go light, you know? When the more you look at it, the less you see what you just did, I realize, you know, it almost seems like nothing happened there, but it's there. And then after going around her face, we're going to do her eye sockets. And eye sockets. I'm going to bring it up from the corner of her eye here up to her temple to give her head that 3D effect. Just subtly. Well, I guess that's a little bit darker than the rest of it, but I'm a creature of habit. Anyway, we're going to go down the sides of her nose and her nose. And then, gonna, you know, bumpity. Maybe trace just where this line is here. Just subtly. Because I don't want to bring that nostril all the way in. Because, you know, that's just not what someone looks like. If they do, more power to you. Congrats. But instead of drawing it in to show where the nostril actually meets in the nose there, I just kind of dot, 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 dot. You know? Dot, dot, dot right there. Dot it up. I'm a daughter from way back. Oh, why did I do that? It's the wine. You know, and now I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. So the line around her face, I'm going to draw one more time, but not, you know, not as wide. So we're going to zoom in a little bit more and bring it in. Bring it in. My goal here when I'm going around her face is to get as close to her jawline side of her face as possible. It's just me being used to doing it over and over and over again, you know. If you're new to this, your finger is not used to where to go. You know, you're not used to where your fingers need to be. So I imagine a lot of people get frustrated that they can't make the lines look the same, but really it's just you getting used to it. So I make it dark right here to show, you know, where her temple's coming up, where that eyebrow, I guess, meets. And I like to keep it darker right there to show that there's some depth to where her nose meets her forehead here. And we all indent a little bit right here. Actually, we all don't, actually. There's no strict law about really how a human face works. But my human face, with her crooked nose, what happened? So, okay, I'm not impressed with that. So zoom a little bit more out. Line it. And line it. We'll work with what we got. And just to show that her, the ball of her nose pokes out a little. Put a dot right there. And boom. And since I'm assuming the light's hitting her forehead right here, I'm going to say that the most of the light is going to catch her forehead, her cheekbones, and the ball of her nose here, and not so much her chin. So I like that mustache shading, or that beard shading, so I'm dotting to the left side of her mouth and the right side. And then that will give us a good indication of where her cheekbone's in and, you know, where her laugh line is without actually having to draw laugh lines, which will typically age your subject or, you know, make them look like an animal. That's adorable. I should keep it like that. Then I'll go in with a darker shade and basically we're zooming in just a little bit closer and following what I already did. What we're doing is we're just building color. You know, in my other videos I've said, why am I doing this? Am I just wasting my time? I'm really not wasting my time doing what I do. I'm building color, and that build is going to give us that blended look. You know, I'm going to go back to that second darkest shade. I forgot to get under her lip here. Yep. Pause there because I wanted to make sure it was still recording, and it was! Ha! Third time's a charm. So yeah, I'm just a slow build, you know, since her cheekbones are so prominent here, I don't actually want to do that whole cheekbone thing, you know. I mean, obviously that's terrible, but her face, it just kind of like sunken in. It kind of looks like she's sick, so I'm just gonna do a subtle build. And so I feel like it's not built up enough, so I'm using that second to darkest shade. I'm gonna dot to her left side around her jaw. I'm trying to basically hit right here. You know, on that black line is what I'm aiming for. So blot. Doesn't seem like it did something. I promise you it did. The subtleties matter. Dot, 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 dot. That's okay. And then without having to highlight her, you know, her chin like that, you know, I'm going to darken the things around it. So right here and right here basically is what I'm aiming for. So zoom out. Dot, dot, you know, so that chin's gonna come out a little bit. Maybe again, dot, dot. And then my favorite thing is really to trace these lines, and then right here, do dot, zoom out, dot, zoom out, dot. I know, again, I say it too, and I'm like, it seems like a huge waste of time, but I think the proof is in the pudding that doing these things is just this slow, subtle build that's not so obvious, but it really does make a difference in the final product. You know, people, you can tell, everyone else can tell. Whoa, calm down, Carrie. My name is actually Carrie, by the way. And yeah, I think we've built up a little bit. Maybe I want to add an even darker shade than the darkest shade they've given us. You know, because it's not as dark as I would like it to be. So that's when I'll start making shades. So I'm going to pick up that black, or just, you know, select it. Go to that dark area that I put down and dot, dot. Yeah, I think that's enough. And highlight it. And undo, because that's not what I want there. And then use it. Dot, dot, dot right there. Dot, dot, dot right there. I know I say right there. I hope you see what's happening. I'm not like the best with video editing. Like, for one, I'm really proud of myself because I haven't cussed once Not in one of these videos. And I'm a champion cusser, okay? And I've been drinking, so why not? But good for me, good for me. Let's make this family friendly. Why not? Not even family friendly, just appropriate in general, you know? You don't have to be a kid to be offended by cussing, I guess. I'm bringing it around to the little edges of her face here. Again, it's just me being used to Recolor and me having epically tiny fingers. I wear a size 3.5 ring. I'm pretty convinced I stopped growing in the 7th grade. You know, it just is what it is. I have the tiniest fingers. It was a nightmare trying to find wedding rings that were actually size downable to my size. So yeah, use a stylus if you feel like that works, if it'll give you a better idea of where your finger's hitting. But I am just used to my finger size. I am just used to Recolor, so I'm aware of basically more or less where it's going to hit. It just comes with practice. It's not even something I actually even consciously thought about. It's just something that happened. The more and more I color, the better I got at actually hitting the spots I wanted to. I didn't give her philantrum. Her philantrum? Whatever. ... Don't let it go all the way down, because that looks dumb. Just above. Just slightly above where that lip would be. You know, and put that darker color. Remember, it's sitting in our recents. There it is. Put it under her nose here. Just following the Humpty Humps. Maybe a little bit up. Maybe a little bit up. I don't know. Again, I'm not an artist. I didn't go to art school. I'm just doing what feels right. Bring it. Ooh, calm down, Carrie. Sheesh. Bring it around a little bit, you know. She has a lot of lines on her face, which I think is fine, but obviously I'm not trying to get that bulging under eye look like that there. That's ridiculous. So I'm just gonna ignore these lines under her eyes and assume. I'm just using that really dark color. Sometimes this turns out to be a bad idea. Sometimes I'm just kind of trying to do things with the color I have at hand. But anyway, this dark color works best for me when you want to do that rimmed highlight thing, and it actually looks better when her edges are dark too. And by that, I just mean I'm going to color in her hair dark. This is a stupid color I made. It's on that selection. Dark orange and a black is what it is, but it's really nothing. So I'm just going to put her hair around her face here real quick too, so you can see it happening. If you ever put these edges around someone's face and see it was a waste of time, it's probably because everything else around her was too light. Let me show you what I mean. Okay. So typically I probably would want it a little bit darker. I think I've gotten sidetracked here. I'm going to use that base color and just, again, I'm used to where my fingers hit. I want to zoom out because I want to do it mostly in one solid line. Otherwise it'll be boom, and then boom, and then boom, and it will look really bad. So, just going to try to get as close to her jawline as possible. And just bring it around. You know, I gotta be honest, I've not seen this in real life. Maybe I have, and I just wasn't paying attention, but I'm not sure what type of lighting will work for this. You know what? I bet an actual artist could answer that question for us. Someone who went to art school. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if her face is the best suited for this type of thing, but it is. It's there now. It's there. We're all gonna have to live with it. But do you see what I mean? It's been a slow build, a very slow build of color on top of color on top of color, you know, that we get closer and closer and closer to our edges here, you know, so that it looks like it's blended together without us having to, you know, use this mid-tone to go through and blot it out. Because sometimes I do that, you know, go through and blot everything out so it blends a little bit better. And that works, especially right here with her nose. I haven't fixed that yet. Just going to the edges here and, you know, right here. And just kind of blotting it in so that there's no severe lines. Just to thin her little nose out here a bit. Then we'll get probably a little bit lighter. And that's just the style, I think, now. Just to bring out that tear duct a little bit. Anyway, we'll go with the light shade and bring in some highlights. Again, I think light's hitting her here. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. My goal is to hit right here, you know. So, oops, undo. So I'm going to zoom out to where I think it is. I'm used to Recolor. I'm used to what size. My finger is going to make a mark. So, dot right in the center there. Maybe one more time. Then I think I'm going to hit like right here, you know. So, undo. So, dot right there. Then I think her cheeks are going to get a good amount of color. Obviously not up here. Your cheek isn't right there. If it is, more power to you. But we're going to assume the fat of her cheek is catching the light about right here. So that's my goal, to hit a spot that big. Dot on that side. Dot, dot on the left side. I think what's catching the most light is her nose, so I'm going to do opposite here. I'm going to start small, dot, dot, zoom out, dot, dot, zoom out, dot, so that it's a slow build, you know. And then I don't, you know, there's a huge difference between all these colors down here. So that's why I like to highlight a color already made. You know, it's not as light as this bad boy down here, but it's lighter than this one. So I'm going to highlight this. So I can bring out the bump in her nose a little bit. Sometimes it's too much. Sometimes it's crooked. But that's okay. It's okay. No one's expecting miracles here. Right. Oh my god, what did I do? Something happened. Yeah, and then I probably want to bring her chin out a little. So I'm going to use this mid-tone. And my goal is to kind of hit right here. So, dot, dot. Not too much, you know. But yeah, you know, it's just this quick video, and I think she looks a little blended. You know, there's some harsher lines, but that is what faces do sometimes. You know, we're going to catch shadow and light, and it's cool looking. But I do like a more smoothly blended face. Some people are so awesome at other ways of shading. But, you know, again, it's taking their normal tone, putting it all down, and then I'm going to use the second to darkest. I'm going to do it on her neck, you know, zoom out, line to the left, line to the right, right? Maybe a better one, line to the right. And then zoom in a little bit, line to the left, line to the right. And zoom in a little bit, line to the left, line to the right. You know, and it's just this slow build that starts to make it smooth and starts to make it 3D. So I hope this helped, and I hope that this recorded. You know, I think I did pretty well for being a little bit drunk, tipsy, whatever. And yeah, we could actually just call this the official episode of Drunk Coloring. But yes, this is how I try to get a smooth blended effect using the crowns. Thanks so much for watching, guys, because I've done this several times. Let me show you. Boom. Look at this. Look at this. Look at all these times. Yeah, we're satisfied with our results, you know. And the different ways you shade, you completely change your face, and that's really cool. But again, yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Come on. There you go. There you go. Don't laugh at me. Yeah.